Let us see an example in alternating current. If the current in the AC circuit is represented by equation I is equal to 5 sine 300t minus pi by 4. Here t is in seconds and I is in amperes. Calculate the peak and RMS value, frequency of AC circuit and average current. See, when you find this kind of equation, you have to always, these kind of questions, you have to compare with the standard form in which we write. The standard form of writing I is equal to I0 into sine of omega t plus or minus phi. Phi is the phase difference. Okay, omega is the angular frequency, I0 is the amplitude. Now you have to compare this equation with this equation. So here I0 you can take the value as 5. So that is the peak current. Okay. Now IRMS is equal to I0 by root 2. So I0 value you know, you will get the value of IRMS. Omega. This term 300 into T, this 300 will be the omega. Omega is in radians per second. So if you know omega, you can find the frequency. Omega is equal to 2 pi f or 2 pi by T. So from here you will get the frequency omega by 2 pi, which is 47.75 Hertz. Okay. Average current. Yesterday we have seen the derivation. Average current is equal to 2 by pi into I0. I0 is the peak current. So take the peak current and multiply by 2 by pi. Get 3.18 amperes. Okay. Now whenever we talk about an AC circuit, like your DC circuit, what are the components in that? Whatever you have studied earlier, resistors, inductors, capacitors or their combination, that is what here also you will observe. Only the thing is the current is in a different format. Their current is in the DC format, here current is in the AC format. So we will see how the variation of current and potential will be in different circuits. First we'll take this circuit. This is a resistance circuit, right? You have a alternating current and there is a resistor kept and the current direction is this. So how the current is varying and how the potential is varying. See, in a DC format you will get a constant current. Okay, the voltage will be a constant value, but here it is not so. Here it is a function of time. So the general equation that we adopt is a sinusoidal variation. I is equal to I0 into sine omega t. That phase part I am not taking right now. So as per Ohm's law, voltage across this point AB, if I is the known value and R is the resistor, it will be IR. Okay, so VR is equal to IR. I value is this, you put it over here, you get I0R into sine omega t. This I0 value is the peak current. So we can write peak voltage is equal to V0, which is equal to I0R. We are just writing this term as V0. Okay, which is the voltage amplitude. If you see how the current is varying, means current is varying in the sinusoidal form and voltage also is varying in the sinusoidal form. Whatever phase this I is going on, the same phase is with V also is going on. Both are starting at the same point. Only thing is their magnitudes may be different. I value, if you are multiplying by R, you are getting V value. So obviously this is the I curve and this is the V curve, and both following the same phase. When this is hitting the 180 point, it is also hitting the 180 point. When it is hitting the 360 point, it is also hitting the 360 point. So both are in phase. If you try to draw the phase diagram like we have discussed yesterday, the phase diagram will look like this. Okay, it is phase diagram means it is a circular vector. So you are assuming that it is moving with the speed of omega t. This line will be rotating in a circular fashion. So if I take this point as V0, if I drop the vertical component, I will get the its instantaneous value, isn't it? This will be V0. V is equal to V0. okay, and this will be IR is equal to I0. This is the current value, this is the V value, okay. Both are in the same phase. When V0 is rotated by 270 degree, I0 also will be rotated by 270 degree. That is the meaning of that, okay. So how do you get in a phasor diagram, how do you get instantaneous values? Means you have to take the components. Here it will have a horizontal component, it will have a vertical component. This vertical component is giving me the instantaneous value of the voltage at that particular instant of time. Similarly with the current value. But the important thing is they are both in phase. Let us move to the next element, which is a capacitor. A capacitor placed in a AC circuit. This is the AC circuit. In a DC circuit, you are going to see here a battery. Here we are showing the symbol, and there is a capacitor between point A and B. The charge deposited is Q, okay, and the current direction is this. So how do I get this charge? Take the capacitance, multiply with the voltage. There it would be a constant voltage. Here it's a voltage which is varying with time. So it will be Q is equal to CVC, but V across the capacitor we are writing as this, as a function of time, V0 sin omega t. Always we take a sinusoidal variation, most of the cases. If you differentiate charge, what you will get? You will get current. So differentiate this equation. So when you differentiate, you get CV0. This part it will become omega cos omega t. That is the value of I. So I variation is for sign here. Okay. Now the same equation V0 into C omega or omega C, V0 omega C. Let us write it this way: V0 divided by 1 divided by omega C. To write it in a particular format, into this cos value we will write it as 90 plus omega t. Sin of 90 plus theta is cos theta, right? So this term we can call it as, we can write this equation as I is equal to I0 into sin of omega t plus 90. Now this I0 will become this term. I0 will be equal to V0 by 1 by omega c. Is it not something looking like I is equal to V by R? Okay. So here V0 is equal to, you take this term that side, you get I0 by omega c. You can find out the peak voltage using this formula. Okay. Now this 1 by omega c, as we have discussed here, it is looking like a resistor, right? It is called capacitive resistance of the capacitor. I am just comparing this equation with the general equation, I is equal to V by R. Yes, this is not R, but analogous, right? This 1 by omega c is called capacitive resistance of the capacitor. That means it's a resistance value only. Its units is ohms. It is represented by XC. Very important terms, you should remember this. So XC is equal to 1 by omega c. So whenever a capacitor is given and capacitive resistance is given, means XC value is given. Okay. Now here the omega, this voltage is V0 sin omega t, and you have observed that this current is sin of omega t plus pi by 2. I is equal to I0 into sin of omega t plus pi by 2. You can see that there is a phase difference is there. There is a difference of 90. In fact, the current is ahead of voltage. The current is ahead of voltage by 90 degrees. Okay, they are not in phase. Here they are in phase, but here they are not in phase. So its variation will look something like this. Voltage, if it is starting at 0, the variation will be like this. Current variation will be like this. In our phasor diagram, if this is the current, voltage is behind, current is ahead. Okay, current is ahead of voltage by 90 degrees. If this is current, voltage is behind. That means this line will be like this. The angle between I0 and V0 will be 90 degrees. Here also you can drop the you can find the vertical components. You will get the instantaneous values. Okay. So this is what it is. Next we will move to inductor. So we have tackled resistor, we have tackled capacitor. The third element is inductor. Inductor diagram will look like this. This is a AC circuit. There is an inductor. of inductance L. Now we have to find out basically the potential drop between AB. So VL across the inductor. Okay, it will be equal to, we know that across the inductor what is the potential drop? It is L di by dt. Basically this solenoid will have its own induced EMF, and it will try to oppose the motion. If you write with the directions, this EMF will be minus L di by dt, and our voltage drop will be opposite to that direction, so it will be minus of minus L di by dt. So VL, voltage drop across the inductor, is L di by dt. Now here this I which is flowing through the circuit is not a constant value, it is a time varying function. So if you differentiate that, I is equal to I0 sin omega t, same what we have assumed earlier also. I is equal to I0 sin omega t, the same value. So when you differentiate that, you get I0 L, these are constants, sin omega t, it becomes cos omega t into omega. Okay. So this is the potential drop. Now like there, this term we will rearrange. It is I0 into omega L. It is something like I into R, isn't it? So this whole term we will write it as V0. But what is the resistance value I have assumed here? It is omega into L. No, this term you imagine like some R. I0 into R is equal to voltage. Now this R here, it is called inductive reactance. Okay, it is called inductive reactance. So whenever inductor is provided, inductive reactance is often given, and that value is omega times L. And how do you find that peak current? Peak current can be obtained by taking the peak voltage divided by the inductive reactance. Inductive reactance is represented by XL, which is equal to omega times L. Okay. Now it can also be written as I0 is equal to V0 by XL, where XL is this value. Here also its units will be ohms only. Okay. If you see the phase difference here, the current value is what we have assumed this. Now the voltage, we have got this. Okay, voltage is equal to V0 into sin omega t plus pi by 2. Why we have got this? I have written this cos as this. We are trying to bring them in the sine format so that we understand what is the phase difference. You can see here that here in this situation the voltage is leading the current by 90 degrees. Who is ahead? Voltage is ahead, right? So its phase diagram will look something like this. This is the I0 value, this is the V0 value, and voltage is ahead of I0 by 90 degrees. Okay, take the vertical components, you get the instantaneous values. Now in all these three scenarios, we are talking about resistor alone, capacitor alone, and inductor alone. Okay, this is the diagram for that for which we have considered the phasor diagram. You see the diagram here. This voltage is ahead of current when this is at 0, this is at 90, right? So there is a phase difference. This is the variation of the current, and this is the variation of the voltage value. So we can summarize it this way. If you take a resistor, capacitor, and inductor, how do you get the peak voltage values? You have to take the I0 and multiply with the corresponding resistance. In the case of pure resistor, it is R. In the case of capacitor, it is XC. In the case of inductor, it is XL. I0 into XL will give you V0. So here resistance, we are taking these values. Okay. Now when we talk about phase, in resistor I am comparing the phase of V with I. So phase of V is in phase with I. V and I are the same phase. But here capacitor, this voltage is behind I by 90 degrees, whereas in inductor voltage is ahead of I by 90 degrees. If all three are together, the diagram will look something like this. That means this whole thing is rotating now. When this rotates, this also rotates, this also rotates. It goes like this, it goes like this, it goes like this, but they will move in a particular pattern. So here VR is in phase with I0, VC is 90 degrees behind, whereas VL means inductor voltage. VC means voltage of the capacitor. Inductor voltage is 90 degrees forward and this is 90 degrees behind. So this is what is the combined phasor diagram.